It's time to go. It's time to go. Time to go for a Tuesday night, for a Tuesday night. Sing it like you mean it, and mean it like you sing it, and do it Tuesday night. Green Bay Packers! Yes, they lost, but that's okay, Ben. It's okay. I don't feel that bad. I'm not that upset about the Packers losing. I really am not. It's one game. Plus, the Bears lost to the Saints like I expected, so no harm. No harm.
Okay.
I mean, there are some scary things from the game, but but as far as overall, I was much more upset about the Packers losing the Tampa Bay game than I am about them losing this game to the Vikings.
Why
And
is that?
maybe it's because I have a soft spot for Viking Mo, and after how terrible the season has been, I feel a little good for him. But also, maybe it's because I secretly, not so secretly, like have a soft spot for Kirk Cousins too.
You didn't even do anything.
I know he didn't have to do anything because the
He
Packers
had
couldn't
50
stop
yards on a screen pass.
because the Packers couldn't get make him throw it. He only threw it 14 times. A guy who was leading the league in interceptions, and they could only make him throw it 14 times. That's not a recipe for victory, that's for sure. And it didn't end up being a victory. So, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's one game. It's one game, and we'll talk about it. We'll get into it a little more, but it's just one game. I want you to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Before we get going, though, I have an awesome thing to show you. My friend Jarena has her craft store, J&J Craftworks, which I've talked to her before on some videos. She's a super nice lady, super sweet, and very, very kind woman. Very thoughtful, does awesome stuff. Well, this week, actually yes, yesterday, I went to her store and I got some stuff because she had some stuff I wanted to get. And I was in her store and I was grabbing some gifts for other people. And I looked at this and I was like, this could be something for me. And then she said, is that for you? And I said, yeah. And she's like, that's my gift to you because you've been so helpful to me and all this stuff. So this is what I got. That is a wood piece and it's got multiple layers. There's a layer of wood behind here that's the gray. And then there's an over layer with all the cutout stuff of Packers, Bucks, Badgers, and old school Brewers on this that I can now hang on the wall and shortly will be part of our backdrop for this program.
Whoa.
And I found that in her store, and it was awesome because she has all these things made by people, that make stuff out of wood and do other cool things. And yeah, so
Whoa.
there you go. We'll have that up by Friday, I promise.
Whoa.
I didn't get a chance to put up today. All right, so who do we got? Anybody hanging out yet? I don't know if I see anybody yet, but that's okay.
I don't know.
Ben, now were you upset about this game? Were you upset about this loss? Did it make you really mad?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me why.
Because I kind of knew it was going to happen.
I know we talked about it. I went back to our show and I was watching it, and I'm like, wait a minute, we said this, right? We said all this stuff, and we said, and I came out and said it, and you agree with me that the Packers have not had a game other than this or team commit to the run against them in a whole game. There were teams that started running against them as soon as, for whatever reason, as soon as they got down by one score, which doesn't make any sense to abandon the run when you're within one score. Why would you do that? But all these other teams did. And, like the Packers benefited from them giving up on the run. And the Vikings said, no, we're going to pound it 100 million times and we don't care. And Kirk Cousins will throw 14 passes and that's okay. And that's what they did. And that was their way to win.
I don't even, I don't know. I can't explain. Living in Minnesota, I've heard, I listen to the radio stuff. I listen to the YouTube shows, and it's like 65% of Viking fans didn't even want to win. Like, they didn't even want the Vikings to win. They want to lose so they can get a better draft pick. Like, so it just doesn't make any sense. Like, they're mad that they won. They're like, what we wanted was them to look really good and then find a way to lose it in the end, which almost happened.
Well, it could have happened had the officials, I mean,
You know, no.
that call they picked up was
It
ridiculous.
was ridiculous, yes.
It was, and that was a pivotal point of the game. It's 8.5 minutes left. That's a fourth down. That's an automatic first down. So many things could be different after that. Now you can't guarantee what's going to happen, but come on, that's a huge, huge play. And conversely, last night I happened to go back and check out some of the highlight package of, the Giants Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's led Tampa Bay, and the Giants make their way to a game of it, and there's a call made for the Giants against Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a PI, which would have changed things, could have changed the outcome. And they pick it up and they say it up. Yep. After the official watches it and reviews, like, that's clearly pass interference. The commentators, oh, clearly pass interference. And then the officials on the field, no pass interference. What? Tom Brady's over here in our ear telling us it's not pass interference. So no. Another break for Tom Brady. That stuff pisses me off. I'll tell you that. And the Packers have like the anti stuff of that. It's some crap. Now they did some dumb things and they made some mistakes. And the Packers pass interference calls that aided a Viking touchdown drive were very dumb. Like, I don't know what the hell Jair Alexander's doing on a third down and long. And he's getting all handsy with that guy. Like, why? Just stop it. Just turn around, look for the ball. You're not going to get called for anything. But instead, oh no, I'm just going to get handsy with him like I do a lot and get away with it. And that's not the time to do it, man. Not on third down when you get off the field. Ugh. That part frustrated me. But that's football, as Mike McCarthy would say.
Yeah.
Poor Mike McCarthy. Come on, hey, it could be worse. You could be Mike McCarthy, man.
Listen,
you could be Mike McCarthy.
This is the bigger issue is today.
All right, what's today?
For the last 9 months, okay, you and I have said repeatedly, can we get an inside linebacker who's got some speed and is a dynamic playmaker? Can we get some help on the defensive line with a guy who can kind of hold up the fort and take on two blockers and, do the right thing? And maybe if there's a receiver, fine, but it wasn't at the end of the world. And all the Packer fans, like 90% of the Packer fans know this. 90% of the Packer fans have been talking about this. They did nothing in the offseason. They did nothing in the draft. The same issues are here. Finally, this week, all the national media is finally figured out what the problem is. It's taken them 9 months to figure it out. But everybody from, Rex Ryan to Colin Cowherd, even your guy, Cowherd,
he's so
even
good.
said, hey, Rodgers doesn't get any help.
Wow.
He even said, he's like, Russell Wilson's got DK Metcalf.
Yeah, that's true.
Tom Brady had a great defense and some offensive line. Aaron Rodgers got nothing. So finally, I thought, okay, finally, the national media is on to the story that us Packer fans have been talking about for 9 months. Surely Goody and Mark Murphy will see this, that it's not just an underground swelling of fans getting upset because they don't do jack squat. It's the national media that's upset that they don't do jack squat. It's not just the fans who are calling for Goody's head. It's the national media that's calling for Goody's head. And still they do nothing. Still they do nothing. And when you do the same thing over and over again and expect something different to happen, that's being insane. So apparently, Goody is insane because he just keeps doing the same thing. They've been doing the same thing for years.
Yeah.
What's that? Inside linebacker? We don't need any dynamic inside linebacker because, we don't need that. We just need pass rushers. Yeah. because that really helps when they pass the ball 14 freaking times. Doesn't that help when you got really great pass rushers? Oh, yeah. And you can't stop the run?
No.
Listen, I don't even care about the game. I said something in the text the other day that you got mad at me for. I don't know why. I said,
I get mad at you a lot for all this crap.
I
I blame you for a lot.
I am ready for the Jordan Love era to begin right now. And it has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. And you thought I was talking about Aaron Rodgers. I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers. Because it's obvious this team can't win in the playoffs. If you can't stop the run, you haven't gotten anybody to help us. Obviously, they can't stop anybody. The offense doesn't do anything. Rodgers just looks at Devontae all the time. He even said, what happened on the last play? Oh, I was looking for Devontae. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Robert Tonyan was open for a freaking 12-yard out route, which would have got him out of bounds and stopped the clock. But there's 12 seconds when this ball snaps, so there would have been like 8 seconds left. But did he look at Robert Tonyan on that play? Nope. He just looked for Devontae, and Devontae was at like the 20-yard line when Rodgers got sack fumbled hit.
Okay, you're talking about that.
What was he going to do? I'm talking about the very last play of the game.
Yeah, okay. All right. I got something
because somebody asked him, they said, what were you looking at? And he said, I'm looking at Devontae. But I'm not talking about Rodgers. I know you love Rodgers. You seem to love Rodgers more than you love me, which is also bothers me for some reason. Hey, I'm just saying, I don't know how that is.
That's not true.
The reason why I'm ready for the Jordan Love era to begin is because the Aaron Rodgers era is over. It's been over for years because they don't care. They don't get him any help. They don't freaking fix the problems. They don't do what needs to be done to help this team win. And like I've said to you, this is another thing I'm going to say. That we had a long conversation about this back in February. One of our shows was, hey, would you rather have a team that's really good all the time and is always in the games and blah, blah, flip flop, or would you rather have a team that kind of stinks, but then every 10 years or so they go and freaking go crazy and win a Super Bowl, like the Giants, right? Giants are terrible.
Yeah,
they've won 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years, right? 12 years. And I said I would rather have that. Because what's my favorite Packers season of all time? The 1989 Packers. Why? Because they stunk before that. And there was no expectations. So when the team went out there and played great and won games in the last second, even though they stunk for half of the game and did dumb things and whatever, but they won at the end, it was awesome. The problem now is we have such high expectations. We can't even enjoy a team being 5-1 and now 5-2. We can't even enjoy that. Why? Because we know what's going to happen. We expect them to be good in the playoffs because they have Aaron Rodgers. We expect them to be good in the playoffs because they have a winning record, because they have a good, decent coach. They have a good, solid nucleus of good players who aren't even drafted. Most of them are undrafted free agents, by the way. That's besides the point. But because of that, we expect good things to happen, be in the playoffs, and try to do something in the playoffs, right? But now we see that the Packers don't expect us to do anything in the playoffs because they don't care. They don't make the moves. They don't do anything. So why should I be happy about this? And why should Aaron Rodgers have to sit there when he knows? You see it on his face. I've said it a million times. And I used to blame Rodgers. I used to be like, Rodgers doesn't care. He's losing by a ton. He knows it's over. He doesn't even try to do it anymore. Well, he doesn't try because he knows, and it's not his fault. It's the whole freaking GM and the organization's fault for not giving him stuff. So why should he have to sit through this crap? He shouldn't. Matter of fact, they should trade him to the 49ers at the end of the year. Trade him to the 49ers because at least that'll give him his hometown team. He can be happy. Jimmy Garoppolo stinks, so the 49ers could use a good quarterback. And the Jordan Love era will begin. And Packer fans will have no expectations.
They better not.
They'll expect him to stink. And then for some reason, if he goes out and he starts playing good and we win, it'll be exciting again. That's what I meant when I said I'm ready for the Jordan Love era to begin.
All right.
Because the Aaron Rodgers era has been over since 2016. That Atlanta playoff game. I know last year they made the playoffs, but they got blown out again. That Atlanta playoff game, that last run there at the end of 2016 when they went in there, and they did all the cool stuff, and they had the Jared Cook freaking catch on the sidelines and all that crap. That was the end of it. That was the end of Aaron Rodgers being awesome and the team actually giving a crap. Because that was last year with Jordy. That was the last year with, all players that could actually do something. Micah Hyde, I think, was still on the team that year.
Yeah.
He was, because he had that huge interception in that game, in that playoff game. He had a huge
brain.
Well, he also said that the guy who was Gunther, or whatever his name.
Yeah, Ladarius Gunther.
Yeah, he told him, he's like, hey, take
him right now.
Take your shot. He said, take your shot, Micah, because they both knew what was coming.
Yep.
And he told Micah to take the shot, and Micah did and picked it off.
Can you imagine?
That's the last time we had playmakers on defense, guys who could get interceptions and do things. That was the last time we had Jordy on offense, where Rodgers and him were on the same wavelength, and Jordy could take it the distance because he had speed. Devontae doesn't have speed.
Yep.
And he proved it this week. All you got to do is have Harrison Smith sitting deep, and whoever, some scrub off the street playing corner, and you can take him out of the game. And they did. Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns, but it took him forever to get down the field.
Can I just say that last touchdown was ridiculous as well? Like, he's not even open, and somehow Rodgers dropped it in. That was insane. That was like ridiculous throw, especially in those conditions, like crazy wind all day long. I mean, all right, I understand how you're feeling. I understand.
I just don't want you to think that I hate Aaron Rodgers. I don't hate Aaron Rodgers. I like Aaron Rodgers.
That's good. I agree.
I am sick of this crap for him, for us as fans.
I think so too.
We expect too much. We expect him to be like, why? Because we had Aaron Rodgers and he's awesome. Yeah, but he can't do it. This is bull crap.
It's you can't win. You can't win football all by yourself. You can't. You cannot do it. So I understand too, and I've been saying this for a while for the people that have hammered on Rodgers or said all this crap about him or whatever. Like I'm a Packers fan, but I think the Packers fans, not me, but a hell of a lot of them, deserve to suffer through life after Aaron Rodgers to see what that's like. Because I'm gonna give you this, right? I was talking to here's some perspective for all the Packers fans that don't appreciate Rodgers and how he makes his team so much better with his play. Because one thing you said, that last play, right? You're talking about the last play. What other quarterback would have told his running back to freaking line up in the tight end spot?
Why would Jamal Williams ever think about doing that? Not only that, Robert Tonyan also noticed it. Why didn't Robert Tonyan move his ass over to the other side to do it instead of yelling at Jamal Williams, who's always in the shotgun back there to help out? It's not his fault.
No. I'm not. Williams' fault. He wasn't yelling at Williams. I'm not yelling at Williams. I'm saying
Rodgers was. He's like, get on the damn ball.
Because time's running down and he needs a guy there. So he was smart enough to say, like, this formation is going to work because my 3 guys don't know what the hell they're doing lining up over here. So I got to have somebody outside the tackle. So
I have video on that. If you can find out why. You want to know why that happened? Because the play call before that was the dumbest play call of all time.
The 2 plays before that, Williams went out to the flat and was sitting by the sideline. For some reason, that play, he didn't go to the outside. He ran to the inside. I'm like, Jamal Williams, you don't have any timeouts. Go to the outside again. Go to the sideline again. But he didn't do it.
The play that Tonyan had that awesome catch and got tackled right away because it was a contested catch. Every receiver lined up on the other side of the field. They all went out at 3 different levels and came across the middle. No out routes. Not a single out route with no timeouts and 20-some seconds left.
Dumb.
That's the dumbest play call I ever saw.
All right, now we're getting off track here. Let me say this though. Okay.
I mean, I don't know what the heck that was.
I don't know what that was. It was really bad decisions. I just noticed that Tonyan was the guy closest to the sideline that Rodgers could throw to. Yeah. That was it on that play. And he got tackled right away, so he couldn't get out of bounds. But I'm just saying, like, there's no way a bunch of other quarterbacks are going to say, this is an illegal formation. Somebody get over here. And that's what he did.
Tonyan noticed it right away, too.
I don't know why he didn't go over there.
And he was pointing at Jamal to get over there, too. I don't know why he just didn't run over there. Just run over there. You know what the deal is. Tonyan knew. Why? How does Devontae not know? The guy's been in the league for years.
I don't know.
I could see MVS not knowing because he don't know jack squat. But, I mean, come on. The other thing was, that was the other problem. All those guys were on that side, and they ran across the field to the other side. And that's why all 4 of those guys were on that same side of the field.
Right. Bad play.
It was a dumb freaking play. It was really dumb.
Let's get to some chat things, and then I got to finish. And I give you a quick perspective on quarterbacks real quick. Not you, but just in general, the general you. All right. Bruce is with you on a bunch of this stuff. Bruce says the coffers are full. You know, the board cares about money, and Corey said that before too. The Packers are a business, and that's what they're focused on, selling hope.
Well, that's what I heard somebody say today too. They were like, if the Packers had an owner,
yeah, McAfee.
They would be out. Yeah, McAfee. He was like, if the Packers had an owner, like he's like Jim Irsay would fly the jet to Atlanta himself to get Julio Jones and give him the plane. Here, this is your plane. Come back to Indianapolis and let's go. But because the Packers have no owner, nobody is telling anybody to do crazy stuff. They're just sitting there like Murphy's like, oh, as long as we're making money, I keep having my job and we're keep making money. So I'll just keep making money because we're just good enough. We're just good enough to win games and keep us going.
All right. Let me tell you, this is what the Packers bank on. And then I want to give you this thing for my friend who's a Bears fan who has agreed to come on our show before the final game against the Bears, not the first game against the Bears, but the second game against the Bears. She has agreed to appear on our program. So I want to preface that real quick. But here's the deal with these guys is that the Packers have this is what they're clinging to. And this is what they showed you today. They understand how good Aaron Rodgers is. They understand how good some of the players they have are. They also understand, and it was glaringly obvious again, we saw it last year at the end of this year. We saw it against the 49ers. We saw it again, against the Vikings. Those were huge weaknesses. The run defense, they can't stop anybody. They did nothing to help it. And so what they're doing is this. They are saying, and then they make no moves, which frustrated a lot of people. But what they're doing is this. They understand that sometimes in playoff games, you get a break. And so it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to run into one of these running teams and that team's going to ram it down their throat and blow them off the field. It is likely that will be the end result in some playoff game, whether it's this first round or the second round or whatever it ends up being, or the championship game. But there is a chance, and this is what the Packers are banking on, and we've seen it before. The Packers don't often make mistakes. So there's a chance the other team could make a mistake, and then the Packers get to go to the Super Bowl. So that's your hope. That's what you have left. The team is not good enough to go to the Super Bowl. But if the other team screws it up, the Packers get to go to the Super Bowl. They have a chance, and they could very likely go to the Super Bowl if the other team makes mistakes. So there's your hope for the season. Because
this is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. And I've said that before. Last offseason, they go and they sign the Smith brothers. They sign Adrian Amos to all this money. Yep. Okay. They signed Billy Turner, who was supposed to, I don't know what he's there to do. But they make all these moves to win now. Those are win now moves. When you sign free agent veterans to, decent contracts, right, that chew up a lot of your salary cap, that is a win. Those are win now moves. Okay?
Yep.
Then the very next time they can do something, they do stopgap Kirksey, who now they don't have a whole lot of money. They don't have a whole lot of salary cap space because they signed all those guys last year. So that's why they could only go for Wagner and Kirksey because they had hardly anything to work with. But then in the draft, instead of getting us playmaker type players, they draft for the future. They draft for the future in the second round because they know the running backs are going to be gone after this year. They draft the guy who's, what is he in third? They already drafted the tight end the year before in the third round, and they drafted another one. They do dumb stuff. They don't hit the things we need to hit. So it's like they win. It's like they chose to win now last year. And then this year they chose to not win now. And by not trading anybody to do anything, they're choosing to not win now. Problem is, both Smiths are still in the books for 2 more years. Billy Turner's still in the books for 2 more years. Adrian Amos is still in the books for at least 1, I think 2 more years. So is that win now, guys? Yeah. The salary cap is going down. Their salaries are probably going up in a lot of ways. I don't know. I haven't looked.
We got to get Bruce on that. They need to hire Bruce.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Bruce, next GM. That's what I'm calling.
How much money do you think Corey Linsley is making this year in the final year of his contract?
$5 million.
Double that.
$10 million.
$10.5 million Corey Linsley makes this year.
You know what? This year he's worth it. He's been really good.
No, he's not. How much money do you think Davante Adams makes this year? In the second to last year of his contract.
12 million.
$16.475 million Davante Adams is making right now.
I wish I could make that right now.
David Bakhtiari, how much do you think he's making in the final year of his contract?
I don't know. He shouldn't be making much because he's not available. If you're not available, I don't like you.
Yeah, well, he's making $14.7 million this year.
You better sell a lot of Miller Lite.
Aaron Rodgers is making only 21.642, which is pretty decent for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But almost all of that is guaranteed money. Now, I looked this up because I want to know because you always said all the money's on the defense. You're like, all the draft picks are on the defense. That's what you told me. That's what you always tell me all year.
Okay, you want me to go through it?
No. I'm just telling you. What I'm telling you right now.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying.
Listen to this.
You finish.
And Ricky Wagner, Billy Turner, Corey Lindsey, David Bakhtiari, Davante Adams, and Aaron Rodgers. Those 6 offensive players take up 37.38% of our salary cap this year. 6 offensive players taking up almost 38% of the salary cap this year. Period.
So you're saying they can't sign Jones? That's what you're saying.
Well, Lindsey and Bakhtiari are coming off the books. So
who are they? Ricky Wagner, I got to say it. I can see why the
Ricky Wagner makes $4.8 million this year. He's 2.36% of the salary cap.
I know.
Billy Turner is $8.1 million this year. He's 3.97% of the salary cap.
He's cheap. The other thing. He's not good.
Defense. The defense. Z, Preston, Amos, Kenny Clark, and Dean Lowry together, those 5 players make 25.64% of the salary cap. So that's 11 players, okay, between those 6 on offense and those 5 on defense, okay? And you can add, if you want to add Kirksey in there, he makes $2 million more. So that's $27.64 million out of those 6. So the top 12 paid guys, okay, take up 70% of our salary cap. 70% of our salary cap is 12 players. Now, how many of them are producing? Let's see. Zadarius Smith gets a lot of numbers, but he doesn't do anything in the game. Preston Smith has done absolutely nothing. Adrian Amos finally did a couple plays, and everybody's like, Adrian Amos had a good game. Nobody else did. I'm like, he made 2 plays. He ain't that great. Kenny Clark got his butt kicked. Dean Lowry is terrible.
Kenny Clark.
Aaron Rodgers is throwing Davante and nobody else, and not looking for anybody else. Davante Adams is hurt every freaking year, misses 2 or 3 games a year. Bakhtiari's been out for 3 games. Corey Lindsey is okay, but he ain't that great. Billy Turner has actually stepped up this year. He stunk last year. Ricky Wagner, I don't even know what that guy does.
He's bad.
But here's the funniest part.
He's very bad.
Who are the guys that make plays for us? Let's look at the defense. Jair Alexander, who had a bad play, but most of the time he's okay, right? Between Jair Alexander,
he could be better. I'd like to see some picks.
Kamal Martin,
once in a while.
Kiki, who didn't play for, I don't know why he wasn't in the game half time yesterday. Tyler Lancaster, Chris Barnes, and Sullivan. Okay, those 6 players take up 3.25% of the salary cap. With those 6 guys, and they make more plays. Those 6 guys make more plays than the top 6 players on defense, who take up 27% of the salary cap. Here's the other thing on offense: Lazard, Jenkins, Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Lucas Patrick, Robert Tonyan.
Nice.
That's 6 players. Those 6 players who make most plays for the offense that aren't named Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. 4.17% of the salary cap compared to the 38% of the salary cap that the top 6 guys make. And the saddest part is Lazard, Tonyan, Jones, Williams, all free agents after this year. And it ain't going to be that cheap if we bring them back. So you telling me they shouldn't be trading to win now when all these guys are going to be free agents and they're not going to be able to keep half these guys back? And those are the guys that make plays. These are the guys that make plays. Sullivan, Lancaster, Alexander's going to be up in 2 years. They needed to trade and win now. They can't sign half of these guys back.
I hope they can. They're going to need him. What if,
I'm not even a smart person, and I can see, oh my God, we have to win now. There's no way we can have this team that wins this many games come back next year. We're going to be really bad next year. Like really bad. Unless they can somehow draft like freaking superstars.
That's never happened. That has not happened in, I mean, that when we did our off-season stuff and we dug into some of the drafts and we did some other shows we came up with and I did all that draft research. I mean, I never realized how bad the Packers were at drafting, but they were bad. They were really, really, really bad at evaluating talent and drafting talent. Now, this regime, the Thompson and the Gutekunst regime, there's somebody in the building who knows how to identify talent that other people don't. Because that's how the only explanation you have of some of the success of these undrafted guys that turn into really good players for them or valuable players, or at least guys that contribute. And then you have these picks that they just whiff and whiff and whiff and whiff on. And I understand, like, the problem, here's my problem with this, because Bruce even says, Bernard, first of all, Bernard's really stuck. He says, we don't deserve Rodgers. We wasted Favre's career. We wasted Rodgers' career. Fire Goody. Yes, Goody should be fired. Yes, the Packers have not done enough. They've been terrible, but the problem is their top talent evaluators have not been very good at evaluating talent. And you can talk about it. Like some people have asked about the defense. Oh, is it the players? Because they've been drafting defensive players forever. And we talked about that.
It's the players.
But they're like, or is it the scheme? Well, you change coaches. You change schemes. Mike Pettin has tried different approaches with these same players. What I'm telling you is if you want to compare defense, go and watch the Steelers extended highlight package from the game against the Ravens.
And they traded for a guy from the Jets today for a 5th-round pick, a middle linebacker.
Minka Fitzpatrick, watch him. He's all over the field. Watt is like a nonstop motor machine. He's dropping back into coverage. He's rushing the passer. He's relentless. Like, there's just a different way. The scheme does not restrict a player's aggressiveness when there's a ball carrier in front of them and they need to go make a tackle. That's not scheme. That's the players. All right. And it's just different. It's different. And there's a lot of defenses like that. We only see a bunch of Packer games and we watch some other football too. Fine. But ones we really look at the whole game, you see the way the Packers defense looks, the way they don't attack, the way they don't tackle well, the way they get shoved around on the defensive line, and the gaping holes they leave open against the run. And then go watch another team. Watch how fast guys close on open receivers. Watch how fast when they dump it off to the running back, some guy attacks and blows that play up. You don't see that with the Packers very often. It's, once in a while, yeah, somebody will make a play. But the majority of the time, the running back gets to do whatever he wants. He catches it in the screen pass or in the flat, and then he jogs around and jukes the guy out and then makes one guy miss, and then nobody can catch him. And, great, it's a 50-yard touchdown or whatever. It's just, and this is from a team that has a first-round pick in Savage, a first-round pick in Alexander, a first-round pick in Gary, high-priced free agents in Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, Adrian Amos. Those guys are all on the defense. Josh Jackson, second-round pick. Kevin King was in there, high second-round pick. They have spent a lot on defense for many, many years. And they've gotten it wrong a lot. So there's no way you can spend so much on defense, resources and time and draft picks and not have a great defense. Like, by now, the Packers should have a dominant defense. And they don't. They have a terrible defense, even with everything they've done. So the only answer, it's not the players' fault. Don't be mad at these players. It's not their fault they're not that good. They're just not. They were mistakenly evaluated by the Packers and given a high draft pick or a bunch of money, and they're just not that good. So it's all on the front office. It's not the coaching. It's not the players' fault. It is the front office GM group fault. The only one that's any damn good is the person who comes up with the undrafted signings. It's the only person in that whole room that should be there. He should be hired, promoted to general manager. Brian Gutekunst should be out. And What about this, Ben? Here's my new approach. And that new GM should take all the, well, maybe not. Maybe he'd be better at it. But if it stays with this GM, they should trade all their draft picks for known commodities. Because you're going to miss on all those draft picks anyway. So get rid of them. Get rid of them. So trade draft picks for known commodities that are good players that you need, that fill holes, not just best player available. Give me a guy that you actually need is going to see the field. Use your draft picks for that, and then fill around that with these undrafted guys that you're good at finding. And make your team up of that. You can have cheap guys because you're not overpaying on draft picks because you got rid of all those draft picks. Save yourself all that money. Get these undrafted guys.
If you're trading for known commodities, they're going to want money, and you don't have enough money on the salary cap. So
that's fine. But if you're eliminating the draft picks and you don't have to pay out all those draft picks, you could have money for the known commodity. And then you have a proven player that's good. That's the approach they should take if they want to rebuild it. Because this is my problem. If they try to scrap it and lose Rodgers and try to rebuild it, it's not going to be a rebuild. It's going to be a tank, and they're going to suck for a long time.
Not necessarily. I'll tell you why. The scheme works.
What?
The scheme works.
That's great, Ben. But if you can't stop anybody and all you've been trying to do is build the defense for 15 years.
But Rodgers isn't out there playing defense, is he?
No, but I'm saying.
Okay. So there's no difference.
If you can't stop anybody, you're going to be worse.
No, you're not. You're going to be the same. You're going to be the same.
No.
You're going to be the same.
You're not going to be contending for the division title and getting in the playoffs. You're going to be... And then you're going to get a high draft pick and you're going to blow it again and again. Because that's what you do. Because you don't know how to evaluate talent coming from college to the NFL and how it would translate. So, look, about the upcoming game, we'll get into that in a second. But I'm just saying those are all really things. Here's a couple things. Kenny Clark. You want to talk about Kenny Clark? Kenny Clark was a first round pick and a guy who just got a boatload of money. Kenny Clark was terrible in this game. Do you remember last year when Kenny Clark just annihilated and ate up this Vikings offensive line? I mean,
Darius Smith.
The center Bradbury just looked terrible against Kenny Clark. And he was in double team blocks a lot against him last year. And Viking Mo said this line isn't very good. They've had trouble. They've been having problems all the time. Kenny Clark got solo blocked by Bradbury on at least 5 or 6 occasions, and he didn't get anywhere. Bradbury handled him. Kenny Clark, super stud, defensive tackle, one of the best in the league, or at least being paid like it, against second-year center who wasn't very good, and he handled him, man. Kenny Clark got his butt kicked, and he got pushed back 3 yards on key run plays. I mean, I don't know. He didn't take on double teams well. I don't know what's going on with him. Ay. But that's the guy you just stuck a whole lots of money in. You got to play here?
Well, I've got the key plays on the first drive of the Vikings. So.
And the safeties drive me crazy.
But Savage is terrible. So this play is a big run. But I'm going to tell you what happened on it here. So Kamal Martin's right here, okay? This happened all game. You got Kamal Martin and Chris Barnes. And there's gaps they're supposed to be responsible for, okay?
Right.
Martin goes to his gap, and then he sees that there might be a hole here, so he jumps to this side. But Delvin Cook is quick. And then Delvin Cook jumps to the outside. Now, I don't blame here whoever this is, Montravius Adams, no, it's Kenny Clark. These guys are getting double teamed. Here, Zadarius Smith gets destroyed by Kyle Rudolph. Can't get off the block of a tight end. This big dime, Zadarius Smith makes $17.25 million this year. Can't get off a block of an old tight end that they're trying to trade. That's all I hear all week is how they're trying to trade him. But watch how Barnes hits the normal hole. Yeah, so here's what you want to see. This is the double team here. The hole's going to be here. Barnes goes to this hole, even though he's got help to the inside with Barnes. or Martin goes to the inside. And then Z gets blocked by, like he's not even doing anything. Now, there is a hole here. And Chris Barnes, why is he way over here? I don't know. Luckily, whoever that is did a good job. And then Savage on that play could have attacked, but he doesn't attack. I don't know if I showed that or not.
No, he just doesn't.
He could have attacked, but instead of attacking, he gets blocked.
Ugh. Their safeties are just, I mean, watching the other safeties around the league too, and then watching these safeties. And it's not even just the starters. I mean, Scott attacks a little more, but they're just not aggressive. They are not aggressive. And when you're safety, that generally you don't have anybody blocking you. It's you against the ball carrier if it comes to that, right? Or you're diagnosing a play. Nobody's really responsible for blocking you. You got to come up and make the play. But if you sit back and wait, like, then these running backs or these shifty guys can make you look terrible, or a blocker can then get to you. But if you attack the play, you got a good chance of stopping that guy. Go low, take out his leg.
This is the second big run on the drive.
Here's another reason I don't like Dalvin Cook.
Here's a very similar thing. It's double teams, which I've been talking. I wish the Packers would do, right? They never double team. They do this stupid, everybody flow one way or the other, and then a guy breaks through because they can't. And then if they screw up their one-on-one block, they're screwed, right? Vikings don't do that. Vikings know the limitations. They double team the D tackles. They force Barnes to make a choice. He's either got to cover this hole or he's got to cover this hole. Because guess what? Preston Smith's over here, and he gets schooled by this right tackle. And Barnes chooses the wrong hole, and that's the end of that. Okay, and see that. See how he doesn't attack the hole? If he would have attacked the hole, he would have at least forced Cook to either have to juke sideways and not keep his momentum going forward, but he hesitates and stops. And by hesitating and stops, he then ends up getting blocked by a 56 here because he's in the wash of all these guys. If he would have kept going forward, he would have went right through there, but he didn't. He hesitated. And now he's blocked out of the play. And Preston got blocked, couldn't get off the block. Those guys it's a first down. And then the next play is a touchdown. And this one is really sad of the first drive. Because they call a single high safety again. And the Vikings move a bunch of guys in motion. Okay. And when they do that, these offensive linemen move over here, or the defensive line move over. Okay. The two linebackers actually keep their gaps fine, which is great. Okay. And Amos is here, but he goes to the back deep safety, and Savage comes down to fill this gap. When that happens, I don't remember which line. I think this is Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes should be playing outside leverage and push it back to the inside because Amos is in the middle. He does not. He takes the wrong hole. He takes the middle hole. Not only that, the tight end that comes all the way here in motion, he comes back across and blocks Preston on the outside. And Jair is doing his assignment. Make sure nobody gets beat on the outside. So he kind of hangs out over here. But then there's nobody here. And next thing you know, Cook's in the end zone. And it's because they don't know where their help is. Like Barnes doesn't know where the help is. So he takes the middle route. They both go inside. Boom, giant hole. It's gone. If Barnes would have taken the outside hole instead of taking that middle hole, everything would have been fine. Like this guy, that tight end, he goes all the way across, comes back, and takes care of Preston Smith. And then, like I said, Barnes goes to the wrong spot. Amos goes back here. Jair just hangs around out here instead of attacking, even though there's no receiver out here. They're only playing zone. So his only responsibility to worry about is a tight end or somebody that comes back over here. If the tight end is blocking here, see, but there's two tight ends because this guy comes back. So maybe that messes him up. I don't know. But then why would Amos go way back over here? And it's just a very odd defense. It doesn't work against this formation. The fact that the Vikings moved in motion and then came back across and did that chop block, because look, he's coming all the way across here. And he takes out Preston. And Barnes is in the wrong hole. Jair's just standing out here. There's nobody to cover. There's nothing. Like, what is he doing? And it's a touchdown.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, I understand he might have coverage, flat coverage on that, but if he has, if he's only one guy should have outside contained. So Preston either needed to squeeze down the hole.
Jair. That's right. Yeah.
Preston either needed to squeeze down the hole.
Preston should have. I think Preston should have attacked, which he didn't do.
Right.
Like both of them were playing outside leverage on that play.
Right, which makes no sense.
Which I don't get it. Yep. It's dumb. So somebody screwed up. And then Barnes took the wrong hole, and there's got no help to the outside. Maybe he was expecting one of those two guys to crack it back in. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff where you watch it and you're like, well, what are we doing? And it wasn't like it's not like the defensive line's not really getting beat that bad. They're holding their own.
On that play. They had
on a lot of plays. Jason, these were all the big plays. I'm telling you, I've got all the big plays. I'm not going to have to look at them all. But what I'm saying is it's like,
okay.
It's what it is it's gap assignments, and they're not following what they're supposed to do. Whatever their run assignment is, there's one play where both Kamal Martin and Chris Barnes go to the same exact hole. They're lined up outside like this, and they both go to the same hole. Like, what are they doing? Like, it's obvious to me that, I mean, I don't know. I think Chris Barnes played better with Ty Summers. So it's either, I don't know.
Well, Martin's out this week anyway with the COVID stuff.
So I know he is.
Contact tracing.
It's just
Packers had their first COVID positive with AJ Dillon, and Kamal Martin and Jamal Williams are contact trace casualties, so they are not available for Thursday's game. Is that tomorrow already? Jeez Louise. All right.
No, today's Tuesday.
Oh, good. Today's Tuesday. Thank goodness I get one more day in there. All right, here's a couple of quick things. Now, Browner's on. Hey, Browner, how you doing? And Bruce?
Browner, I didn't mention you the other day as one of the awesome baritones. You are an awesome baritone, Browner. Don't forget
there you go. All those baritones are pretty nice.
I know, all of them.
Yeah.
All the second tenors were jerks. That's why I hated being in the second tenors. It was just you, me, and Andy Cavagneto, and the rest of them were a bunch of turds.
That's why I fit in.
Hope none of them listen to the show.
Oh, there's some nice guys over there. I fit in better with the second tenors anyway because I'm a jerk. All right. Bruce and Browner are talking some things about the coaching and about aggressive players and all this stuff, and you're right. Bernard, don't worry about the 49ers so much. They are one of the most beat-up teams. The Packers do need to win this game somehow because the 49ers are so beat up, it's ridiculous. But Browner's talking about the defense, and yes, you're right. These are a couple of my quick notes. So I said Kenny Clark got blocked a lot, solo by Bradbury. I watch plays. This is what I like to do on those extended, full highlight package or the extended highlight packages because I don't have Game Pass, so I get to watch a whole game. But I go back and I watch that, and I just watch the lines. I just watch the offensive line and the defensive line to see, what happened there because I want to see what the lines did. And I just go back and do it and watch all the Packers defensive snaps in there and look how bad Kenny Clark looks. He's getting knocked down. He's pushed back. He's turning his back. Like he's got his. What is he doing?
The second touchdown was bad.
You're like, dude, you are this powerhouse guy. You got to be an anchor in there. What are you doing? I don't know.
You keep talking. I'm just going to run plays. He doesn't watch him.
And, and then another note is the Packers safeties are not aggressive. Most of the defense is not aggressive, but Savage is the worst. They're all just so damn passive. They don't attack plays. Another quick game note I had is that this Allen Lazard injury is proving to be a much bigger problem than I think we all thought it might be.
Well, yeah, and the reason why is because Rodgers, I got a play on here where MVS is wide open. Rodgers looks right at him. He won't pass it to him because he knows he's not going to catch it.
Yeah,
and it's not like a deep route. It's like a 7-yard in route. And if it was Lazard, he would have thrown that ball.
He's not reliable. They don't have another reliable guy. The only other guy that's reliable that's a pass catcher is Tunyon. And Jay Sternberger showed some good hands this week. Now, he can't run after the catch. He doesn't have any speed, but at least he's coming along with catching the ball.
Well, that deep pass that Tunyon caught, too, I don't think he needed to dive for that. I think he would have just kept his feet moving. He could have just caught it and ran for a touchdown.
I mean,
it's almost
the wind was totally crazy, so who the heck?
I know.
On a ball that long, it's hard to say. But like, even, okay, so the plays like EQ, MVS, they're just not reliable. You can't count on them to catch the damn ball. Like EQ on that third down pass, you got to catch that, man. You have to. You're not a fast guy. You're not going to get that open, but you have to catch that.
Here's what I'm talking about.
You have to catch it. So
On
they
this
need
play,
a reliable guy.
Chris Barnes and Martin go to the same hole.
Oh, no.
And there's nobody out here except for Jackson, who's got to deal with Ham coming straight at him to block him.
Looks like that could be holding on Preston Smith there, but the Vikings didn't get called for holding all game.
Well, blocking the back for sure. But they didn't call that squad on the Vikings.
Packers had so many penalties too. The penalties really killed them in this game as well.
Yeah,
I mean they were just badly timed. And can I just say the two worst penalties? The worst offensive penalty is holding, because one, it sets you back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and you lose any sort of positive play there. And usually it happens on first down or second down. And then the worst defensive penalty is, defensive holding is pretty bad because it gives automatic first down, but pass interference is the worst. And that's what the Packers did the most of, was offensive holding and defensive pass interference. Those are killers. Killer penalties.
Here's another play. You got Barnes and Martin, and they go to the same hole again on the same drive. And not only that, Kenny Clark gets blocked he gets double teamed at first, but the guard kind of moves off him, and the tackle just keeps shoving him over and shoving him over and shoving him over, and he's just keeps moving him out of the play. And then that's where the cutback lane is for Cook to get inside the freaking 3-yard line.
Why is there so much space between the Smiths and the interior guys?
I don't know. But look
at that huge cutback lane right there.
Why are Martin and Barnes right next to each other? Like, what are they doing? And then here's Kenny Clark sideways. Why is his body sideways? If you're sideways, you're going to get pushed backwards.
Savage is going to fill that big hole right there? No.
Yeah, he's not going to cover it. He's not going to fill nothing. He's going to run in there and miss the tackle. Because he stops. He slows down. He makes a tackle, but it's too late. Attack. Run at him.
And he also had his head on the wrong side, so the guy could keep running through it too.
Well, he didn't want his head to come off, see?
Head on the right side. Your head stops the guy's momentum, I'm telling you. Or your helmet pops off. All right, stop it here. Pause it. All right, you'll show it again, right?
Yeah.
All right, show it again. I want someone in the chat to explain to me. Can you go to the side view again?
No. What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Go to the side view again.
I don't want to.
All right. I want it just illustrates it better. I want someone in the chat to explain to me, when you have, especially at goal line, this makes zero sense, because if you don't stop from getting there, it's a touchdown, right? They just have to break the plane of the goal line. But when you have a third down and short, or when you have a 3rd and 3, or a 3rd and 4, or a 4th down and 1, which the Packers, can we get past this too? Like these defensive players that barely stop them on a 3rd down to get it to a 4th and 1, and then they're like celebrating after 3rd down. You're like, dude, they're going to go for it on 4th down, because everybody goes for it on 4th down because they know most of the time teams can't stop them on a 4th and 1. So they're going to freaking go for it. So you're not off the hook, dude. You got to be ready to go. You got to get your butt up off that guy. Don't celebrate and get glued into stopping him from getting 1 yard. Can you do it on this play? Anyway, that mentality has to change. But please explain to me in the chat, if anyone can, why, when you want to stop them from getting 2 yards or 3 yards, do you have players 6 and 7 and even safeties 10, 12, 15 yards away from where you want to stop the offensive team from getting that line to gain? I understand the linebackers that you don't want them to get caught up in the wash necessarily, but when they're back 5 or 6 or 7 yards, there's no way they're going to identify and stop the running back before he gets 1 positive yard. If you have guys up on the line or just 2 yards back off the line of scrimmage, they can still move, read the offensive line without getting caught by him, and they can attack a gap. That's the only way you stop people on short yardage, is with penetration and attacking a gap. Why in the hell are they playing this way? I don't understand it. Someone explain to me in the chat.
Well, I'm telling you right now, this play is a great offensive play. This is
Okay.
something the Packers don't do. The Packers play a zone rushing scheme most of the time, which is everybody slide one way or the other and getting somebody's way, which might work if the defense is playing back. But on short yardage, the reason why the Packers have such a hard time scoring and they have so many fourth and ones or fourth and goal from the 1 yard lines that they don't get over the last season so far, at least 2 or 3 times, and they have to end up having to pass. So they don't do things like this. On this play, if you look here in the red, these two guys, this center and the left tackle, double team Lowry, who's playing defensive tackle here. This center pulls and goes all the way around to get this is Owen Burks playing outside here. Not only that, the tight end is on this side is going to move in motion, and both tight ends, Irv Smith and Rudolph, are going to double team Gary. And it's hard to get off a double team. I don't care who you are. So you got a double team on this guy, a double team on this guy. You got Ham coming up the gut, and he takes out Barnes, and that just leaves Black, undrafted rookie, trying to cover Delvin Cook on a 1 yard touchdown run. That's not going to work. But the Packers don't run offense like this. They don't double team guys on everybody is moving to that side of the field. They take care of this whole entire side. They don't even worry about this side. And it works because all they need is 1 yard.
Right. Before you start that, hold on. When you start this play, also I want to watch the guys, the linebackers, 54, 51, 41, 42, and Savage 26 over here by the goalpost.
Savage doesn't move.
Watch their movement as the play starts. Because if they're not immediately moving forward, there's no way they're stopping anybody from getting to the goal line.
Well, I could understand Savage and maybe like Black not moving forward because maybe they have coverage assignments, and maybe even Owen Burks, because this tight end's going to come across and have to go here. And you know dang well Gary has no coverage assignment. And I'm assuming whoever's coverage assignment is the fullback and the running back should just be blasting forward. They shouldn't even be worried about covering anybody.
All the offensive guys are in the picture, Ben. So yeah, nobody's outside. No, so anyway, they should be diagnosing and attacking.
But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10 Packers here. I think Thielen must have been outside. I don't know. Yeah, there's another tight end here. Where is the other corner? Where's the other defender in there? Why isn't he in the box? Where is he? What's he doing?
I don't know. He's maintaining outside flat coverage just in case somebody runs other. I don't know.
Look at this. Double team on Gary. Double team on Lowry. The guard pulls out to Owen Burks. Ham takes care of Barnes. There's just enough space. Boom. It's a great play. It's a great run. It's a great job by the Vikings. I mean, listen, the Packers suck at run defense, but the Vikings know how to run. They have really good plays. They have awesome concepts with a lot of guys moving around and pulling, and they'll move guys in motion. They move the tight end in motion. And what it does is it shifts the defensive line. The defensive line moves over because then their gap changes. But what they do off of that is they'll bring a guy across the others, whoever they move the motion, they'll still bring him back and cut block on the other side of the field he was on in the first place. So they moved all the gap assignments by moving him in motion, and then the defense doesn't adjust, and then that guy comes back behind the line of scrimmage and goes back to what the original assignments were, which then leaves a hole, or it leaves the linebacker a choice. I have to either choose this hole or this hole. And if they choose wrong, and Delvin Cook's super quick, and he can see where you are, and he has good vision, he sees, oh, you went to that one? Okay, I'm going to this one. And Delvin Cook only has to read 2 holes because of the design of the Vikings. The Vikings have a good run game, really good.
Well, yeah, Kubiak's smart, and he's always been really good with the run. So Sophia's bringing me some easy bake stuff that I had to try out. So there's a little pizza here. Sorry, I had to work that in. Also, Browner, I don't know if you caught this before, but this is my new addition from my friend Jarena at her store, J&J Craftworks. This will be a backdrop soon for our studio here for Packer shows. Pretty cool stuff. If you want one, I know where to get one. Also, some other things here. Bernard's getting a little crazy here. He's saying if they don't beat the 49ers, fire everybody. Hang on there, Bernard. Hang on. Can't fire everybody. But these guys like to here. All right, Bruce is talking about because Pettine, these are things are happening because Pettine is a bend don't break defense. He doesn't want to get beat over the top. Why doesn't he want to get beat over the top? because last year Matt LaFleur harped on it. Matt LaFleur did not. He had made a big deal about all the explosive plays that was happening against his defense, and that's when they changed the way they were playing coverage for the last 9 games of the year. And they didn't get beat over the top anymore. But guess what? If a team was good at just being disciplined and working the way down the field, they chewed them up, and they chewed them up against the run. The one thing this makes me think of is this. Okay, there's only 2 options here for why this defense is so bad. Well, 3. The players are terrible, and
the players make mistakes.
I know the players make mistakes.
They make a lot of mistakes.
But are some of these defensive schemes and a bunch of the adjustments, because they seem to adjust to a lot of things that the offense does. They never line up right away. They're always late lining up. They're always shifting. They're always moving around. And you're like, what's the point of that? Because most of the time that means you're not in a good football position to take on a blocker or take on the play or even have your eyes on what's happening on the ball. But it makes me wonder, are the players thinking too much? Are the defensive adjustments and different things too much for these guys mentally, that they're thinking too much and not just playing and not just reacting? Or are they just not physical? They're just soft players. I mean, they don't play physical like other teams I've seen, but I can't believe you get that. You're only drafting the non-physical players. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand this team on the defensive side.
Well, this is the 3rd drive, and this one is not players. Well, this is somewhat players screwing up, and it's mostly bad scheme. So this first run is a huge run, and the problem on this play is actually a great play by Kiki, and he just kind of overruns it a little bit. And he's finally in the game. I don't know why he wasn't in the game before. When you watch this play, Kiki's going to beat his guy to the outside right here. But when he does, then 72 is able to seal off both linebackers and Ham. So when Kiki misses this block because he goes too far inside, there's nobody left over here. Here's Preston Smith getting destroyed by Rudolph again. And all these guys run for the races because, I mean, Kiki made a great play, but he didn't finish the play. Rudolph, but at least he got penetration.
Block? Is Rudolph that good of a blocker? He blocks Darius Smith.
Apparently, he's awesome. He can block. Let's see, how much is that? $30.75 million of our salary cap. He just blocked during this game. Okay, so this is what Browner and Bruce are talking about, and you talk about too, where they're playing off. And this is the dumbest part. If you look at this play, this red line I have here, that is the first down marker. This is third and 8. So they've done a good job on the first 2 plays of this drive, right? It's 3rd and 8. Just get a stop. But what is this coverage? You got Adrian Amos, who is 20 yards back over here, circled in yellow. Okay.
And I bet he moves back first. His first move is backwards, I bet.
I don't know. You got Josh Jackson, who's 10 yards off Thielen. So he's already given him the first down. You got Sullivan, who's 8 yards off Beebe. You got the tight end coming off, and I don't know who this is who's covering him. I can't remember. And then Jair's up here on Jefferson. He's right on him. Okay. And then all these guys in the line of scrimmage. Okay. All 6 of them go to the quarterback. All 6 of them. Now, if you're going to send all 6 of your guys, the chances of them getting there within a second or 2, not very good. But the chance of them getting there, if you play bump and run coverage and disrupt the player, disrupt the receivers and their route concept, probably a better chance. But when you play off with all these guys, you're in trouble. And I know they're playing off because they're thinking they're going to do some kind of route combination that is going to beat their press man coverage. Well, if you beat the guy up, he ain't going to get off the line of scrimmage. But on this play, they're so far off, the tight end just goes straight. Beebe just cuts in front, and Sullivan has to go around the outside because if he goes inside, Beebe's going to run forever. So he's got to go to the outside to make sure he can at least stop him for a 15-yard gain instead of a 10-yard gain. But is that Sullivan's fault? I've seen Sullivan cover guys, bump and run, and do awesome. He had to be told to do this on this particular play or this particular formation, right?
You're not playing to his strengths again.
No, you're not. He's a bump and run cover corner.
Ugh, yuck.
So what happens? You know this play. It's 3rd and 8.
Yeah,
he's wide. He's wide open.
Amos went back first.
Yeah, they all go. Look at where Amos is. He's 30 yards away from the line of scrimmage. The first down marker is the 38-yard line. He's at the 20-yard line. He's 20 yards behind the first down marker. I mean, you're giving them the first down.
It begs the question, right? Do you want to stop them from getting the first? Do you actually want to stop them and get the ball back, or do you just want to not get beat for a touchdown on that particular play?
That's just too easy.
Oh, God.
And watch all these guys blitz, and none of them get there. Look at Z. He's got his hands in his pockets. It's too cold for him. Well, guess what? It's barely November. You better frickin' get tougher, Z. But nobody gets there. Cousins has got an easy pass, wide open. I mean, Sullivan's not even within 5 yards of Beebe. And it's a first down. But is that Sullivan's fault? No. So it's the player's fault, but it's the scheme's fault on plays too.
Damn. They
really
really do have to fire everybody. You're right, Bernard.
They do. Now this is the Jair pass interference play. And why he doesn't just look up and break the play up, I don't know.
No, you have him. He's not gonna. Come on, man.
It's just a lapse of I don't know what he's doing, and I didn't really circle or draw anything or whatever because it's just dumb. Like the ball was it was so overthrown. He had no chance of catching that. It's too bad that Amos didn't yell at him and be like, "Dude, just turn around, just turn around." Like if he was just, I mean, there's no fans there. They can probably hear everything they're saying.
Just turn around. Just why?
I mean, that ball was 5 yards overthrown.
Why?
And now this is the one that really bothers me because this is the Josh Jackson pass interference call.
And it's at that point, it was still 14-14.
Yeah.
Is this like the opening defensive possession, the second half?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This was a killer.
Okay. This is what I want you to watch. I circle. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this. You have Owen Burks right here, and you have Savage right here. Do you see any Vikings anywhere near these guys?
No.
Now they're playing a zone. Okay, they're playing a zone. You got a guy in the flat, and I think this is Sullivan who's down here. You got Josh Jackson trying to stick with Thielen. And he's got outside leverage. So he's thinking he's got help to the inside. But for some reason, Savage, Owen Burks, and Sullivan are all going to cover Cook.
Woo.
And leave Josh Jackson one-on-one with Adam Thielen. And the only guy I think who screwed this up is got to be Savage. Because Owen Burks his job is probably to sit right at the end zone and make sure nobody gets past him. That's fine. And same thing here. And I'm assuming, because look here, Amos is back here. And he's trying to help out all these guys. I'm assuming that Savage is supposed to be back here and help out if somebody goes into the end zone, right? Mm-hmm. But he's too far up. He's playing the slot guy instead of the outside receiver.
What is he looking at?
He's looking at the quarterback. And look at him. Look at him move forward. He's moving forward to Cook. When there's already Owen Burks and Sullivan here. So he doesn't know what's going on around him. He has no idea what the defense is doing around him. If he knew that he's already got two guys on this particular play in this zone coverage, his responsibility should be there where I'm circling in that orange. That's where he should be. Right. He should be back there because that's where Amos is. Amos is over here, covering, helping out here.
There are no other receivers coming his way or in that area.
No.
So, yes.
And it's because he's not aware of what's going on with these receivers. He's looking straight at Cousins. He has no idea. He's not giving any help to Josh Jackson. And Josh Jackson is going against one of the crappiest receivers in the league. So what does he have to do? He's got to grab him, make sure he doesn't catch the touchdown. Right? And he barely grabbed him, but he did. What if Savage would have been there? Either one, it would have been an interception, or two, it would have been a breakup. One or the other. But Savage screwed up. So you just saw on this last drive, and then they score like a 1 yard touchdown or whatever it was, Delvin Cook. But what I'm saying, you just saw a scheme prop. You saw Kiki get inside and miss a tackle, kind of take a bad angle, and nobody else anywhere near to make a play. You saw a terrible scheme where guys were freaking 10 yards off on 3rd and 8, and they just gave it to him. You saw Jair get beat, and then instead of trying to locate the ball, just grab the guy, even though the ball was overthrown 5 yards. And then you saw Savage, who's supposed to be back, help it out, is up there covering with two other guys who are already there to make the play. He had no reason to be there. So it's scheme, it's players screwing up, it's guys getting beat and then, doing something dumb. It's the whole thing. It's not just like, because I want to watch the tape. I was like, okay, what is going on? What is going on with this guys? Is it the scheme? Are the players bad? What is it? It's everything. The scheme is bad. The players are bad. Everything's bad. When they call a good scheme, the players aren't in the right spot to do anything about it. I don't know. What can we do?
All right. I want to bring you back to the hope again.
Wait, let me show you one thing real quick.
Because
it's not going to take long.
I forgot to say my Bears thing. My Bears fan.
It's the terrible play of all time.
Oh God.
You're going to love
it. I guarantee I won't love it, but okay.
It's just
I mean, you would expect you'd expect issues like that, like mistakes like that from, say, the Vikings secondary, because they were all banged up. They were starting all these young guys who don't know what they're doing. But you didn't see that, and this is the Packers secondary doing this stuff? Come on. Why are they so bad at safeties? Why can't they get a damn safety right, Ben? I don't get it.
Savage is a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I want to show this is this. This is the screen pass touchdown for 50 yards, okay?
Oh, boy.
Now, if you remember last week, I showed you the video of Kingsley Kuechly, right, playing D tackle, and Preston Smith. And the two of them Kuechly especially got real smart. He could tell that he was not blocking him all the way. Instead of going for the sack, because he wants to stop the play, he read it, went out and covered the back, right? This time you got Zadarius Smith.
Oh no.
And Rashawn Gary. So it's dumb and dumber. Okay? That's what you got here. You got dumb and dumber. Where before you had Kuechly and Preston Smith, who were smart and okay. Now you got dumb and dumber over here. And Preston Smith, he just wants his sacks. He wants his number. He wants to be able to crawl. He wants to be able to crawl on the ground, right? Zadarius Smith wants to crawl on the ground, show everybody his shirt, whatever it says. That's all he wants to do, right? Yep. So as soon as they let him go, he goes to the quarterback. Gary, he doesn't know any better. His guy doesn't go out and block. He's still blocking him. So I don't blame Gary. I blame Zadarius. Because both of the guys are blocking him, just let him go. You tell me, Zadarius, you beat a double team, Zadarius? You're so good you beat a double team. You can't beat Kyle Rudolph on a single cover block? And you think you beat a double team to get through to the quarterback? No, they let you go. Zadarius Smith has zero awareness. Like if in Madden, he should have a 1 for awareness. Honest to God. He never knows what the hell's going on. All he does is run to the quarterback. I mean, he'd be great if he played for Bill Cowher in 1990s, because Bill Cowher was always just rush the quarterback, right? He'd be great for that Steeler team. But for this particular team, he is not a good player. And $17.25 million this year. That's a waste. That's a waste of $17 million. That's 8.46% of the salary cap on one guy who doesn't know what he's doing. But he got 5 sacks. He got 3 sacks in one game. He was the defensive player of the week. So everybody's like, "There's Zadarius Smith. He's defensive player of the week. He's really good." No, he's not. He's not good. He's dumb.
He's dumb. Well, look, he became a full-time starter and full-time player for the first time last year. He got the big sack numbers. He had a Pro Bowl selection. He was in the top NFL top 50 players. And why, Ben? Because he had sacks. Wasn't because of anything else, because he had sacks and all those pressures. So that's all that's on his mind. That's all he's going for.
I know.
And that is going to expose you to many problems in the run game. And guess the thing that he is neglecting to realize is that until you stop a team from running, you can't get any sacks, Mr. Zadarius. So until you stiffen up as a run D, you can kiss all your sacks and all your pressures goodbye, because you will have Kirk Cousins, who is leading the league in interceptions coming into this game, only throw 14 passes, or 15. I guess he got sacked one time right away by Dean Lowry, who was unblocked. But at least he made the tackle. But anyway, that's what you get. So 15 dropbacks, you're not going to get many times to get pressures or sacks. That's the way it is. Unless you're TJ Watt, you might get a couple sacks in there. Damn, he's good. God, guy's so good. I want all the Watts on my team. I want Derek. I want TJ. I want JJ. Give him as many picks and players as anybody wants. Give me those 3 guys.
So here's my question. Do you even care what happens on Thursday?
Yes.
Do you even care anymore?
I do.
Even care?
Because the 49ers are banged up. The Packers look, George Kittle out, foot injury. Garoppolo, not that he's good anyway and only had to throw 7 passes last time he played the Packers, but he's out. Running backs, what they like their 4th or 5th running back because of injuries and stuff. Like, it's crazy. They're so banged up. At least their lines are intact. So that is worrisome because you don't, give it to anybody. Their line's pretty good, and the Packers have shown you. So if the 49ers want to ram the ball down the Packers' throats with whoever the heck they got to run the ball with, I don't know who it is, they could be successful. The Packers must stop that. They must clean this up and commit to stopping the run, make this team pass without George Kittle, without Garoppolo, without a bunch of the weapons they need, and they got to do it. But I mean, if they do that, if they can stop the run, they should win this game, even though they're missing a bunch of their own running backs. All right. So we don't know if Aaron Jones is coming back. It might just be Dexter Williams and Tyler Ervin. That might be it. I kind of hope at least Aaron Jones can be back, but they're not going to risk it if he's close, like making that muscle injury be a bigger problem. So maybe you got to throw it a bunch of times. Maybe you don't run that much and you throw it a whole bunch of times, and that's okay too, as long as your passing attack is appropriate for the defense you're playing. So if they're playing the quarters coverage and they're doing all that stuff, then you got to work the intermediate routes. You said that how many times we've talked about when they play this style of defense, you got to work the intermediate routes. That's what the Packers got to do. They got some guys that are good at it. Devontae's good at it. Tunyon could be good at it. Sternberger showed good hands this week. He's coming along. He can catch the ball.
I think what they need to do, and I have the video for it, but I don't want to bring it up. But last year, I talked about the trips formation play in the regular season game where Devontae saw the guy was going to blitz. He's jumping around, pointing at Rodgers. We put it on our videos from last year, right?
Yep.
Rodgers didn't see it. Ends up getting sacked, fumble at like the freaking 4-yard line. NFC Championship game, same thing. Trips formation on the right side. The guy's going to blitz. Devontae sees it, points it out. Rodgers never sees it, never looks over there. Billy Turner whiffs on. He could have blocked 3 guys. He chose to block none of them. Mm-hmm. The guy that Devontae pointed to that Rodgers never looked at and saw gets in there and makes the strip sack fumble. And the 49ers get the ball and score right away, blah, blah, blah. What I need to see is Matt LaFleur needs to have a plan. They need to get to the line of scrimmage with 12 seconds before the frickin' play clock's over, not 1 second before the play clock is over.
Yeah, that's true.
They need to be, if Devontae knows somebody's blitzing, look at Rodgers and be like, dude, he's going to blitz. And then they need to have a change of route based on that so that Devontae can do a quick route, because they didn't do it last time. Devontae pointed it out, and then he still ran his stupid 15-yard route, didn't turn around, and by the time he turned around, Rodgers was already sacked. Why is he not adjusting to that? Jordy would have adjusted because he would have known. Double D would have adjusted. Greg Jennings would have adjusted.
Even Randall Cobb would have adjusted too.
Randall Cobb for sure would have adjusted. Yeah, now, I don't know if that's the system, LaFleur's system. They don't want him to do it or whatever. I don't know. But Rodgers and Devontae and LaFleur need to have some sort of plan. I don't trust MVS to have a plan. Please no. But Devontae, if there's a blitz, they've got to be able to change the route. If Devontae's supposed to run a 15-yard route when there's a blitz on 3rd and 7, have him run a 5-yard out route and have everybody out, clear it out. Have everybody else run straight in that trips bunch, clear it out, give Devontae a 5-yard out route, he'll catch it and run for the freaking first down. Because if this crap happens a 3rd time, I will lose my mind. Because it happened in the regular season last year. It happened in the playoff game last year. Same exact defense. On 3rd down and 10 and 3rd down and 8. They blitz. They line up like they're going to cover. The guy who's in the slot blitzes every time. They did it twice to you.
Well, and
if it happens again, I'm going to lose it.
In that particular grouping, in that particular situation, I actually like Malik Taylor to be the most reliable guy.
Okay, yeah.
Coming out of that, because he has the best balance. He's not going to stumble around and fall down like Lazard
did.
Or even Devontae at times loses because he's doing his hop around stuff. He kind of loses his footing. Sometimes it doesn't have a good, first step after his hop. He might slip a little. And sometimes the field in San Francisco or wherever it is, Bay Area is kind of crappy. And
Santa Clara, whatever.
Santa Clara. Yeah, that field always is kind of chewed up. I don't even know why. I mean, it's supposed to be decent weather. I know they get some rain up there and all that, but come on. So I would trust Malik Taylor out of that being the most reliable. I like his hands. I think we talked about it last week. He's got to be the number 2 guy, like right now.
Until Lazard comes back, yeah.
Not MVS, not St. Brown. They're not reliable. They will not attack the ball. They're not reliable guys. Double Doink is back, and he's trying to get at least some value out of the draft picks. He's saying maybe Jordan Love could be linebacker this week.
Nah, I can't. That MVS has 35 targets and only 16 catches.
Oof.
I mean, that's not even half his catches. Half his targets are caught. Devontae Adams has 58 targets, and he missed 2.5 games. 58 targets.
Yeah.
That's a little too many.
I should have kept him in fantasy. Dang it. That was my bad.
I should have kept Dalvin Cook, but I got dumb.
See what you did?
Sick of Dalvin Cook.
You could have kept holding the Vikings down with your bad fantasy.
I know, but I thought Nick Chubb was a better running back, and I wanted Nick Chubb instead, so I let Dalvin Cook. I wanted Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I dangled him out there, and Travis didn't take the bite. So, what am I going to do? I don't know.
Now look what you're doing to what you did to Chubb with your bad fantasy.
Here's the thing. Hey, Aaron Jones had an interview before the Texans game, and they asked him if he could play. He's like, I could play. That was 2 games ago.
I know.
And a lot of people are saying Aaron Jones isn't going to play on Thursday. I think Aaron Jones is going to play on Thursday.
That would help a lot.
I think he is going to play. I think he was able to play this whole time, and they've just been extra cautious because they're like, we're just playing the Texans. We're just playing the Vikings. Well, they should have played against the Vikings, but he couldn't play defense, so it really wouldn't have mattered, I guess. But still,
it's one of those muscle injuries. Those are always ones you got to be careful with because you come back too soon. They always kind of make them wait like an extra week after they're actually ready just to protect against re-aggravating it. Cause then it becomes like the lingering thing that just keeps going and you never get better from it. And for a running back, that he needs full functionality of his leg muscles in order to be super effective. So anyway, all right. I never got around to my Bears fan. Dang it.
Yeah, you did. You said she's going to be on or whatever.
Well, I did, but here's the perspective about quarterback play and quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, I was talking to my Bears, my coworker who's a Bears fan. I don't know a lot of Bears fans. I'm assuming there's more in the world, but not that many more because there shouldn't be. But my coworker is a Bears fan, and she, I was talking to her a little bit. I was like, "Hey, you want to come on our show and all this stuff sometime? I think it'd be kind of fun." And she's like, "Well, I don't know that I know enough about football, and I mean, I'm a fan, but whatever." And she's kind of like downplaying. And I'm like, yeah, but you're a Bears fan. We don't care if you know a whole bunch about football. Like, come on, give us some Bears perspective. You know about your team a little bit more than we do because we don't pay attention to the Bears that much. And then I said something about Nick Foles. All right. And she's like, Nick Foles is the man. That's what she said. And then I went and I looked at Nick Foles' statistics and Nick Foles' play. And I'm like, he's not the man. He was 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, throwing for around 200 yards a game, like 50-some% completion. That's not the man at quarterback. But according to Bears fans, he is the man because the Bears have been looking for a quarterback for, 60 years. I don't even know how long they've been looking for a quarterback. The Vikings have been looking for a quarterback forever. The Lions, the only reason they keep Matthew Stafford, they can't win with him, but the only reason they keep him is because they got rid of him. What would they have? They don't know. So for all the people that are kind of taking Rodgers for granted, like just think about the Bears. Just think about all these other teams who are still searching for that quarterback, that next quarterback. You know how long that process can go along? What has happened with the Packers between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers almost never happens to a franchise. The Packers got lucky with Rodgers falling into their lap and other teams passing on them and all that stuff. The only thing they weren't lucky is they're at least smart enough to pull the trigger on that draft pick. But do I think Jordan Love is the next answer? I don't. If he's not, it could go really far south really fast. And I never, never, never want to be the Bears.
Well, I take what you say, what you just said in a different light, Jason.
All right, take it, I guess. Because you love Foles. I mean, Foles is cool, but he's not that good at
No,
quarterback.
you said she's all. What was her reaction to Nick Foles? What was her reaction?
He's the man.
She was pumped up, dude.
Yeah.
You know why?
Because the Bears usually suck.
Because the Bears suck, and they finally were winning games, and they were finally like doing stuff, and they were like, captain comeback and look like crap, and then make a play here and there, and there's no expectations. That's what I want again.
You want the Packers to suck.
It's time for the Jordan Love era to begin.
Oh, God. I can't do it. I can't.
Aaron Rodgers, we owe Aaron Rodgers that much. In the offseason, he needs to be traded to the 49ers so he can win a Super Bowl with the 49ers. We'll start the Jordan Love era and suck and suck and suck for the next couple of years. And then maybe he'll be good after a couple of years. I don't know.
Until we get, what's his name? Graham Mertz from Wisconsin comes into the pros, and the Packers can get him after some sucky years.
Right, just like they drafted T.J. Watt and J.J. Watt and all the other Wisconsin guys that were really good. Yeah. No, they're never going to take a Wisconsin guy.
Damn it.
Never.
That's
ain't going to happen.
I don't know why. Never took the best Wisconsin guys either. Troy Vincent. God dang, some old wounds. It hurts. It hurts a lot. All right. Anyway, the Packers should win this game. They should, because the 49ers are a mess. Kyle Shanahan even has a sprained ankle. Like, everybody's hurt over there. So, I mean, come on. Packers got to do it. They got to win this game Thursday night. They really, 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 really do. And there's not really many excuses. But they have to stop the run. And Ben showed you a lot of problems. They're out of their gaps. Players are undisciplined. They don't know what they're doing. They're not aggressive. Mike Pettine's scheme sucks. Like, I don't know what to say to all that other than these guys get paid a lot of money to examine the film, to apparently identify what they should do better, and they're supposed to be working on it. So let's see if they worked on it, at least mentally. I know they're not doing anything physically between a Sunday and a Thursday game, but at least mentally, hopefully they figured stuff out. I don't know. Browner says Packers 28, San Fran 20. I hope so, Browner. Could we get a turnover in this game? Could we get a turnover by the defense? Like, that's the other problem.
I think Nick Mullins threw like 7 interceptions already this year. He only played like 2 games. Or whoever the guy was that came in last time when Garoppolo got hurt earlier in the year. The 49ers threw a crap ton of interceptions and fumbles and all their kind of dumb stuff.
That is the other thing that is being exposed with this defense as well. Is last year they had all the turnovers, right? Last year they were getting turnovers. This year they're not getting any turnovers. And when you don't get the turnovers, you're not very good. So, go back and listen to LaFleur's post-game press conference. Listen to anytime he's asked about the defense recently. He's sick of it. Like, he's like, we can't get any turnovers. We can't stop the run. We can't defend the pass. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with this team? Like, come on, let's get some defensive plays. Let's get some turnovers against this team. Come on. But the Packers got to play a cleaner game as well. Those penalties were just a big difference maker in this last game too. So it was perfect storm. Look, 1 loss, perfect storm. The sad part is it makes you think if they can't stop the run that they're not going to make it all the way that we want them to make it to the Super Bowl. They're going to run into a team who's going to be disciplined, run the ball on them, and take them out. But like I said before, there's a chance that other team could screw it up, and then the Packers get to go to the Super Bowl. So that's what they're banking on, and that's what you need to keep hope alive with as well. Or that Mike Pettin completely flips the script and is like, Matt LaFleur, you want us to stop people? Then let's get aggressive and crank up the blitz, press man, single high safety. Let's get them.
Oh, he does. He does a single high safety. He just does a single high safety 30 yards back.
Yeah, that's not very good either. Put Savage at single high safety. Let him use his speed and roam. He can't tackle people anyway, so maybe he can break up a pass.
But he's not aggressive. He doesn't go after stuff.
Maybe he'll break up a pass if he identifies that.
Savage is really bad.
I can't believe he's so
bad. He's really
bad.
bad.
God.
I can't believe that when they drafted him, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like Nick Collins again.
Well, that's because you were going by Chris Sims' evaluation, and he was high on him. But
Well, he just said he's really fast. That's all he said. He's got a rocket up his butt. That's all he said.
he seems fast, but I don't know. He doesn't tackle anybody, so we got to get some tacklers. We got to get some guys, man, that are gonna be aggressive. So if the guys simplify it, Pettin simplifies it. I don't care. Let's do like some of these other teams and play the same defense every damn play. So the guys know what they're doing all the time. They know what their responsibilities are. They don't screw it up, and they can just react and attack, react and attack. That's all I want to see from my defensive players. No thinking. Don't think unless it's a screen pass and you're a defensive lineman. Then use your head and go out and bust up the screen because that's the best way to stop a screen. I've already been clear on that too. All right, that's all I know for today. Other than I also know Nick Foles is not the man, but that's what Bears fans think because there you go. But the Saints beat the Bears. Yay. Packers are still going to win the division, okay? We're still going to win the division. Don't worry about that. The big question is we get to the playoffs. Can we do something in the playoffs? I hope so. Bruce brought it up earlier. If Aaron Rodgers plays out of his mind, then maybe we win in the playoffs too. So there's always that possibility. So you got the hope of the other team screwing it up or Aaron Rodgers playing out of his mind or Aaron Jones lighting him up. There's look at that. There's 3 hopes. 3 good possibilities right there. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive for the Packers Super Bowl. But if you're putting money on it, don't put money on it. All right, I got nothing else for you other than election day today. We probably won't know results for a while because of all the extra ballots out there, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, hopefully you used your exercise, your right, and voted and made your vote count. That's what most people should be doing. I know, Ben, you didn't vote, so I don't want to hear it again.
I exercised my right to vote for the candidate that I endorse, which is nobody because they both suck. So
I would not put those two in the same boat. They're very different people.
But I would say this.
One sucks a lot more.
It gives me, but see, here's the best part is I'm not going to be disappointed no matter what happens because I don't care.
Yeah. Well, okay. Fair enough.
Where you might be all fired up tomorrow if something really dumb happens.
I'm not fired up. I don't
know. You'd be pretty fired up.
I'll be either extremely disappointed in the general public, the majority of humans in this country, or I'll be. They'll have restored my faith in them because it's a pretty clear and obvious thing when you're looking at just decency and responsibility and trying to do the right thing versus what's been going on. So anyway, I wanted something other than old white guys to choose from. Like, did you watch Adam Sandler's time on Saturday Night Live last time? And he was doing the whole thing about the presidential candidates at the time.
No.
And it was an opera man. He did an opera man part. And he was doing this thing.
Nipple.
Yeah.
I like the nipple ones.
Yeah, the nipplers. And anyway, and in the end, he was talking about how the candidates, he was going through a bunch of these different candidates. And then in the end, it was down to once again, it's just old white men. And that's all we get. So maybe we could switch that up next time around. Not just some old white guys. Let's try something different. Actually, my thought is it's time for a female president. And I actually have the perfect slogan. So any women that want to run for president, you don't have to talk about your platform. You don't have to talk about what you believe on certain subjects. You don't have to talk about any of that stuff. All you have to say is,
I'm already yawning.
I'm really excited about this. I got this figured out. So if you want to hire me as your campaign manager, let's do it in 2024. And
okay, what are they? You don't talk about all this stuff. What happened?
All you have to say is, men have had their chance. For 200 years, we can't do any worse than this. So give us a shot. That's all you got to say. Can't do any worse. Can't do any worse. That's it. Simple message, clear, to the point. All right. Actually,
I don't know. I thought Barack Obama did pretty good.
Oh, Obama was awesome. But I'm just saying. But actually, I kind of like to see Mark.
I did vote for him. That was the last time I voted.
Very nice. I'd kind of like to see Mark Cuban run in 2024, but I don't know if that'll happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's an interesting guy. Interesting guy. All right, fine. Mark Murphy, 2024. Let's go. No, whatever gets him the hell out of town. Brian Gutekunst, run for president. Get the hell out of here.
Oh yeah, you want him to? He'll make good decisions.
All right. Anyway, hey, I like AOC. She's tough. All right.
AIC?
No, AOC.
Oh, I like AIC.
Well, yeah, you like AIC too, but I don't know. That's all I got for you tonight. Take care. Stay true. Packers victory on Thursday night. We'll talk to you on Friday night. Hopefully, it'll be a victory Friday. So even though we didn't get a victory Tuesday this week, we're shooting for a victory Friday. We'll see you Hafeman Bros channel 9 p.m. Friday night.